Okay, good afternoon, guys. Hope everyone's had a relaxing weekend. We are now well and truly into February. It doesn't seem 5 minutes ago since Christmas. Unreal, really. How quick January's gone. It's absolutely flown. Okay, so we've got some news coming up in around about just over 30 minutes. So Armanas, how you doing, buddy? How you doing? So I'm just trying to suss out what's going on. I came in earlier. I was just looking at the market, and I did take a trade off there actually. So we do seem to be flitting up and down. I did draw a channel there because I thought there was a possibility we could have a break and go a bit lower. It seemed to fit quite nice there after this sort of leg down. I thought we may go down, but it wasn't to be. We've continued up to the highs. Bufas, how you doing, my friend? How you doing? It's been a while since you've been here or said anything. You did comment on that. What I noticed. I did recognise you on the that trade I marked the other day. Now, not a lot of people liked it. I actually thought it looked okay. If you think about all the things that are going for it, I thought it was solid, but it's a shame really when it's on a Friday because we don't get Mac's opinion, because I'd have loved to see what Mac's opinion would have been. So Exponential, how you doing, buddy? Okay, market is open. It's flittering around a bit, so it's hard to know what's going on. We have, if we look back over Friday, it was a pretty strong day on a Friday. We had a big strong move up, clipped all-time highs, didn't quite hit that 5,000 level. We were just a little bit short, not a lot, literally 2 points short. So whether this is a channel and we've got two legs down and we're going to continue up and push up, your guess is as good as mine. So possibly. So at the moment we just seem to be going sideways. Now I don't know what is expected with this news. What I find sometimes when we get these news is market carries on and doesn't seem to bat an eyelid, and then other times we seem to go very sideways. So whether they're expecting something positive or something negative, sometimes I find that tends to keep the market a little bit still. So we'll see. So in fact I'm going to keep that there because that was well, that's actually all-time highs at the moment. So whether something specific is expected. Let's just put that there at all-time highs, because I'd be interested to see if we actually break that today. So, morning to you, my friend. How you doing? I'm going to have a go at your name again. What did we call you the other day? Was it H? H, I think it was H. Didn't we say H? We did say H, didn't we? There you go. See, I've got a good memory. I got lucky there, I think. So yeah, so we do seem to, yes, that's it. I thought it was. Yeah, I got it. That's why I like, see, we usually get around about 50, 60 in something like that. And I kind of like that as a good number because you get to know people then. You know, if you get too many, you got the comments are going too quick. You can't read them and you can't get to know people. And you know what I'm like. I like to get to know people, find out where they are, where they're from, you know, a little bit about them. It just makes it interesting. You want to know a little bit about your work colleagues, don't you? So it's hard to know what's going on here. Why is that doing that? Nomad, how you doing? California, rainy and windy. Glad to hear it. Usually you expect that place to be bright and sunny, but it's 11 degrees centigrade and really windy here today. I've had to go down and literally nail stuff down. Winds gusting today. But that's the beauty about trading, isn't it? You're in the warm, aren't you? Stuck indoors. So what is the average temperature in California this time of year? Don't you have it similar to us? I mean, are you a little bit further south than us? I suppose you are, really. Obviously, generally, the further south you go, the warmer it is. I think you're a little bit further south. Orlando, 57 degrees Fahrenheit and raining. Oh, is it really? Seems like, let me think, California, north, south, east, west. It's California on the west coast, isn't it? Yes, it is, isn't it? It is the west coast. Much better than laying bricks. You're not wrong, mate. You're not wrong. So it is wet. You see, you're 8 hours behind us, surely, aren't you now? So it was about 6:30 in the morning, just gone 6:30. I'm pretty sure. North, south, east, west. Yeah, you're on the west coast. Pretty sure you are. Isn't it Florida? Yeah, I get the two. The sort of warmer places you hear about are places like Florida and California. California's on the east, Florida's on the west. Sorry, other way around. So yeah, generally the further south you go, the warmer the weather, as a rule, I think. So, what is going on here? Are we going up? We haven't. This is the first time we haven't hit the bottom. We've had a bit of a break out the top, a bit of a. Hey, Speedy, how you doing, buddy? Chris, yeah, hi, Chris. Oh, I said hello to everyone else. I think so. Nice green numbers. Yeah, I just took a trade down there, mate. You take a bit risky trades, don't you? But it was kind of a triple test, nice solid bar. So, where are you, mate? You're in Miami, aren't you? Miami, Palm Bay, Florida, 57. So 57. So what is that in centigrade? I'm never working out. There is a calculation, isn't there? Don't you add 30 and times it by something like that? I don't know. So we're a leg down. Are we getting 2 pushes up and going down further? It's possible. It's possible. Trouble is at the moment. Yeah, so I know. Yeah, I know. I know Kev's in Miami. I talked to Kev. Well, I talked to a lot here actually, but I talk to Kev quite regular. Anytime you guys want to converse with me, send me a message. I've got no problem. I'm quite happy chatting with people all day long. I can talk trading. You ever want to chit chat? You know where I am. Email me, messaging me, messenger, whatever you like. Okay, so we got. See, my issue is at the moment, it's pretty sideways, but we're just sitting on top of the EMA at the moment. So, do I really want to think about maybe a lower high there, leg? This could come down though. We get a lower high here. I don't think that's a bad trade down to the bottoms. That's if we can get a lower high, but we may just do something like that. But at the moment, we've been hugging the top of the... But we have come up here, so I think there's a fair chance that may come down to these levels. So see if we can get a good-looking lower high here. I only need one trade. I'll take that down now to 3 contracts. I need one trade, 1 2-point trade, and that'll pass. So I got 2 of them ready to pass. One goes on Friday, and the other one goes Tuesday, I think. Having said that, I'm kind of hoping this 71% runs out, I think, tomorrow, late tomorrow. And then we'll have a new offer. So they tend to be doing that past 1 day. And if that's the case, if I can hit this 300 today to pass this, then those 2 accounts will just go live. So, fingers crossed. Yeah, that NQ was still above. That's on a 1500 tick chart. Was still above. We're holding. So I think going short here might not be the wisest course of action. But in all fairness, we have hit this. We've tried multiple times to go higher. So I would have said, based on what I can see, it looks like a spiking channel. So I would have said it would be more likely to come down to this area here and maybe lower somewhere around about here, somewhere in this area here. Let's put it down to about there, say maybe somewhere around about there. So we're under the EMA now. Let's hope we don't get a second entry long. We've got no lower high here anyway. If we got a lower high here, second attempt to go higher and a failure, then I may have taken that one. I wonder if there's some type of a downtrend. See, what I will say is, last time we hit all-time highs, we had a massive big tank the following day, and we've hit all-time highs there. So I wouldn't be shocked if we had a big drop. Yeah, was it the time before last? I can't remember. The first time we'd broken it, it was maybe a couple of weeks ago. It was the first time we'd broken it for over a year. And it hit it a couple of times, and then I think it was later that day or late the afternoon, it tanked. Then we had a couple of pullbacks, and it came down again. So I wouldn't be shocked if we have a fair old sizey drop, maybe over the next day or two or so. I mean, that's just an educated guess, but you never know. So we've bounced here again. So there's definitely some support here now. Whether we break through it or not, who knows? I think there's a possibility. My only issue I have with taking a short there, very close to that measured move. There's not much. If you're taking a no, it's not working. I'm going to say if you're taking a short below there to complete that measured move, it's only down to this level, so it's pointless, really. I think. Rodian, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, if we could have got another, if one of those had ticked above there, I may have taken that just to down to the bottom. Let's keep it in mind, this news. 20 minutes. Okay, could we take that? No, it's just too risky. I mean, it could come down, but we've already touched the bottom twice, and as we know, this is a strong area of support, so I think going short into that might not be the sensible course of action. It may work, but in fact, there's a big bearish bar starting to print at the moment, so trouble is we have got some support around here, so it'd be a shame to trigger you and bounce. May work, possibly work, but it's just a bit risky. It is sideways. It does seem to be making slightly lower tops, but you just don't know, do you? It could come back to bite you. Ordinarily something like that I wouldn't mind taking, especially when you've probably got some longs trapped, but it's triggered below those longs and reversed a bit, so it's probably a bit risky going short there. It may work, it possibly will, but if I took a short there and posted that on the forum, they go, why the hell did you go short into that? So the sensible thing would be to do just to leave it. My gut instinct tells me we may come a bit lower, but a sensible thing, well, the picture tells me that probably should sit tight. So if you went long there, trapped you, took you out. Let's see. There's another attempt to go higher here. If that traps and comes below here, I'd say it's more likely going to come down. Actually, there's a failure there, but it's still going short into all the support, so I ain't doing it. Yeah, it's one thing I've learned over the last 3 years of trading. Intuition, that gut feeling, is a really useful tool. So I'm a bit torn here, but I'm staying out of this. It's clearly a bit congested now, but personally, my gut feeling tells me that's probably going to break below, because there's probably a bunch of stops there, and we may have this leg, but the sensible side of me tells me that probably should wait there. So did anybody get up to anything exciting the weekend? It's just been awful here. It's been windy as hell. Weather's naff. Mind you, the nights are starting to get lighter. The mornings are getting brighter. So we're well on our way. I think officially 3 weeks on Friday. I know the UK. Well, shouldn't make a difference anywhere really, but officially the first day of spring by the equinox calendar, I think. And then we're well on the way to the warmer weather and the brighter nights. Those there, reason I put them there was because it's so small here to read, and I wanted a quick glance. So I just went on to the Microsoft Store, and I'll tell you now what it's called. I think it cost me, I think it was about £2, I think, something like that. So Microsoft Store, and it is that desktop clock and time zone widget. And I can obviously change, well, not obviously, I can change the color and the size and obviously the time zone, but I like the fact that it's there quickly so I can get a quick glance at the time. It's a bit small up here, really. So obviously I want to know the time is where I am, but obviously the New York time, obviously, a lot is based on this, so I can just literally glance at it for a second without having to try and zoom in here and find it. So yeah, I think it was about 2. I ate a beautiful plate of carnitas. Now, I was a chef for about 12 years and I got no idea what that is. Sounds to me like some sort of American Spanish dish. American Spanish dish, something like that. What was it? Carnitas. You might have to explain where that is, bud. Carnitas. Pork, Mexican. I did say sort of Spanish Mexican, tender inside, crispy on the outside. Oh, that sounds nice. That sounds nice. I got to say, the UK isn't known for sort of Spanish restaurants or that types of foods. We've got lots of Chinese. I mean, so there is a higher low there, but there's some support down there. So for me, I'm a bit nervous about going along there for obvious reasons. Now, it may work, it may push straight through it, but what I've noticed, it is hitting these highs, so I'm just going to sit tight. Hi, UK. Hi to you. How you doing? Hard to find. How here in Australia? Yeah, we're not known for sort of Mexican restaurants, really. There are very few. I've only ever known one. But yeah, I mean, the biggest, I would say, for takeaway is Indian and Chinese. They're everywhere. I mean, we love our Indian and Chinese food. In fact, I think a few years ago, it's probably still the same. I think the national dish of the UK was chicken tikka masala, strangely enough. But now we're big Indian and Chinese fans. I like Indian food and I love it, and I cook it a bit as well. But I tend to probably go for a Chinese first, Indian second. But there are a few Italian restaurants, quite a few, I suppose, but no, Mexican, not really. We did have, I think, the only Mexican restaurant that I know was, what's it called? The big chain that was around. I don't know whether they're still around. I know they shut down in what's it called? Mexican food chain in the UK. It was relatively big. I don't know if it's around anymore, but I know it's shut down in Shrewsbury, where I live. What's it called? That was quite nice. I actually like Mexican food, but you just don't find any Mexican restaurants in the UK. Well, there are around, obviously. I live in a small town in Shropshire. Butter chicken and naan, could live off that, yeah. I'm into what's at the moment? Pathia, chicken pathia. It's like well, I think they describe it as an Indian version of sweet chili. So there's a little bit of sweetness to it and a bit of chili to it. But I can actually cook. I actually cook them myself. I found a website. If you're into your cooking, I found a website. Now this guy worked at Indian restaurants for years. He's a white British guy. But I bought 2 of his books. He's got a website as well. I'll just share a YouTube page, and he'll cooks it with you, and it is perfect. You will not know the difference between that and Indian restaurants. Excuse me, sorry. Misty Ricardo, that's a YouTube channel. So my wife got me 2 of those sort of round spice tins, like you take the top off, there's like a load of little circles in there. She bought me a couple of those and I started buying them all, and he is brilliant. Tasting, you will not know the difference. He does do a couple of books. I've got the 2 books there, but that's the first one it's brilliant. So if you make pathia, korma, biryani, chicken tikka masala, you won't know the difference. But it's brilliant, and he cooks a lot of them, but it's fantastic. So if you like Indian food, trouble is Indian food over here, if you get an Indian takeaway between 2 people, you're talking about £25. Probably $40, $40, I can make 10 portions for that price. So if you're interested in your cooking and you like your Indians, when I go, this guy, watch him. Brilliant. Okay, so I stayed out of that one for obvious reasons, and I'm quite glad I did. You probably would have made a couple of points. No, you'd have probably squeezed 1.7, but I didn't want to go long into there because it does seem to be finding some support there. What have I missed? From 2 to 230, we've got an uptrend. Have we? I must be missing something here. What am I missing? Can you go through your trade you take for us learning? Your trade. The trades I take. You on about that one? Or trades in general? I tell you what, if you're learning, I'm going to do you an absolute solid now. If you're learning, join this guy's website. Absolutely fantastic and dirt cheap. Mac, his name is, absolutely, and I mean this. Ask anybody in here. Most traders in here, I think, have been through this program here, and you'll be absolutely shocked to know it's $125 for a year. His name is Mac, and it's price action trading. I'll go through that trade today. Yeah, price action trade. He's an absolute diamond. That guy is. He's a lovely bloke, and he will not rip you off. Absolutely. Start with Mac. I mean, for $125, you will not go wrong, I promise you. You will not learn any type of system like this for $125. You won't. The guy's genuine. I joined up to this a little over 2.5 years ago. The price has never changed. He doesn't do it for the money, I can assure you. It's brilliant. Can you not provide mentorship? I've only been trading for 3 years. I would consider myself as intermediate. So you don't want me teaching you. One, I still make mistakes myself. I still have my trading's about my strongest point. My psychology is the bad point. But you wanna stick with someone who has been doing it for years, and I believe. My trading is okay. I can trade reasonably well, but my psychology, which is always the hardest part, I still have issues with that. But in all honesty, Mac has got dozens of videos on there explaining every trade, second entries, failures, triple tests. He goes through everything, explaining short-term trend channels, larger. Trust me, you will not regret it. And for $125 for a year, it's peanuts. You will not find anyone will teach you to trade in the way Mac will for $125. I tell you now. You trade. Well, I started a little over 3 years ago. I did like a 6-month mentorship with a guy called Andrew Lockwood. And Andrew Lockwood has been trading for, I don't know, 38, 39 years. He started as a runner in the London Stock Exchange in the 1980s, and then progressed onto the floor. And he was a floor trader, basically, you know, all the hand signals and the shouting and screaming. I don't know what any of it means, but he did that for years. And he worked for various different city banks. And I believe during the 2000s, everything went more computerized, and he was in Singapore at the time. And he set all their system up to trade automatically. So, and then he just decided to trade his own money. He'd obviously built up a reasonable amount of wealth by then, and he's got a big house on the outskirts of London. But he's not flash at all. He says technical analysis works. Okay, technical analysis on a 2000 tick chart. It's sort of counterproductive. The chart moves that quick. We take small, so it's very limited. He trades with candles or order flow. He actually still trades with candles, and he's been trading with his own money since 2000, early 2000. I think he said 2002, 2003. But he worked for big city banks. But he worked in the London Stock Exchange for years. So he's a very experienced trader. And I started 6 months with him, and that was trading. Currency. Well, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fine. I was happy with it until I saw two guys trading futures contracts on the S&P 500, and I went from having multiple currency pairs all over the screen, multiple time frames. We would trend finders, basically trend traders. We're looking for trends, so we'd use a certain bit of software which would find us a weak currency against a strong currency. But it was just screens everywhere. You spent most of your time hunting through different currency pairs, and it was a bit of a ball ache. And then when I saw these two guys trading one chart, one time frame, for me, it was an absolute eye-opener. You spend most of your time looking for a trade as opposed to most of your time looking for a chart to trade. You shouldn't really copy anybody's trades, and I'll tell you why. One, I trade pretty okay, but when I have a loss, that's when I seem to struggle. So you're never going to get anywhere by copying people's trades, because it doesn't teach you the right thing. You need to learn yourself. Use someone like me or any other traders just for confirmation on what you're looking at. You know, if you're questioning what you're looking at, if you see what other people are looking at, you might think, okay, all right, I'm thinking along those same lines. So that's why you use someone like me for. And you know, learn from me, I learn from you. We're a bunch of guys at the same level in a chat room, basically, talking about trading, discussing trades, what you think of this, what you think of that. You know, and you spend time with like-minded people, you learn quicker. Your learning is a lot broader. That guy I started with said, surround yourself by people you want to be like. So the simple answer is, the only other option really was to stream. It makes me more accountable. The main reason I did it is because it makes me more accountable. But then when you start to chat to other people and you learn from each other, do you know what? I started playing the guitar when I was younger, but I never had any mates. So my guitaring was very limited. And then my cousin learned, and he said, yeah, I was practicing with these two lads and that. And he's learned so much more. So you really do learn more talking with other people, like-minded people. Yes. You have to learn to do it. Copying usually results in getting to... Yeah, that's the issue as well. You don't know what I'm thinking, and sometimes, you know, with this chart moves that quick, I get in quick. Use someone like me just for confirmation on what you're thinking. You know, does this look like a channel? When you're new, you question everything, but when you get a bit more confidence and belief, and that comes with time and experience, your skill level climbs up. But You know, I still look at Mac's chart every day just to compare his to mine. Was I thinking right? I look at people like Marco's chart, or when he posts it, people like Daniel's chart. Jope is another one. There's a few other guys but I tend to look for everyone's charts. I'll show you. Join this Facebook group. Mac's Facebook group. Well, I don't think Mac has anything to do with it, really. I think Marco and Daniel tend to run it. But this one, and what you want to do, and I did this for, I did a post over the weekend about a trade I took, and I asked what, anybody else thought, but, I still ask if I'm not sure about something, I ask as well, and other people post their charts. There's one of Marco's. I always check Marco's charts, compare it to mine, so we're always learning from each other. He's more experienced than me, so I tend to look through his charts. There's a couple of others, his charts. Whatever chart's on here, I like to see what people's opinions were of the trades. What did they trade? What did they see? Did they see anything or take anything that I missed? And it basically expands your whole vocabulary of trading. You're always learning, and the longer you've been trading, the more you realise you've got to learn. So join that for sure. That was invaluable. For the first 2 years, maybe a year and a half, I posted my chart every single day on here and asked for scrutiny. Do you still get losses? Absolutely. I would say average. Okay, we got that news. I would say average, when I'm trading really well, I can get to 90%. But I can't sustain it because I have issues with psychology. So I would say an overall, I probably trade around about 85%, 80%, 85%, something like that. But if I can deal with this psychology, I expect it to possibly get better. My trading is okay. It's okay to make money, but by far the toughest thing, and anybody else in here will tell you that, it's the psychology. It's great when things are, if you're trading, taking a trade, winning it, taking a trade, winning it. And I only lost one trade in 14, so I felt on top of the world. Everything's great. But then when you lose a trade, that's when things go to rat shit, and it can affect you. You get two losing trades in a row, that knackers your average. So it's by far the hardest part to get right, the psychological side that losing money has on you. So I don't know what's going on here. So yeah, my gut feeling did tell me we were going to break down here after this, but I stayed out of that one because I was concerned about that line, and then rightly so. Then we had a broke above it, and then we obviously had this news, which is more or less. Did I just delete that? Did I? Yeah, I deleted it. Right, let's try and figure out what's going on. I've got these two evaluations. One's passed. You can see I did the micro, and I've got about $260, probably $280 to be safe. So I've got that set at 3 contracts. So one trade, I'm not in a rush with this. One trade over the next 4 days, 5 days, 4 days, something like that. So I might as well hold on and get it right. We do seem to be in a bit of a downtrend at the moment on the NQ. Let's just drag that in. There is a second entry short there. My issue is we're quite close to the low of this, so I think it would be quite possible that would push up towards the EMA, so I ain't taking a trade here. It's like a tick off a doji. It might work, but I wouldn't be trading that on this chart, so I'm certainly not trading on that chart. But there is also quite likely a bigger range. And we are coming down to the lows of it now, so actually let's bring that down to those three. So this to me is quite lightly the low. If it does hold, I'd certainly expect it to bounce here, even if we're in a downtrend. We're at the bottom of the channel, so I think it's likely we're going to push up, but I wouldn't be thinking about going short here, so I mean, even though it did work. Yeah, you done, are you, bud? Yeah, you take it easy, mate. See you tomorrow, buddy. That's what you want, in and out. So we're right at the bottom here, so this is the NQ. Yeah. So there is a possibility that we could just be in a range at the moment. News is done now anyway. So let's see what happens. We have made a new low for the day, so we'll just keep an eye on that. I'm certainly not thinking about going short. Yeah, there was a second entry short there. But we're at the bottom of the channel on the NQ, so I didn't really want to go short. You didn't know I was going to do this. I wonder. Yeah, see, we've hit all-time highs again, so I wonder whether we are going to have a decent pullback today. What's that look like? Not sure. See, we got two legs down. I ain't thinking about going short for two reasons. One, if this is a range, we broke out the bottom, most breakouts fail. Two, this is a downtrend, looks perfect to me, fits perfect. This is an overshoot. So I would expect this to push up. How far, I don't know, but certainly I don't want to be looking for a short here. Now, it might work, but the signals for me are we've had a breakout of quite lightly range, so I'd expect a possibly to fade it back into the range. But if it isn't, and this is more just of a channel, that's quite an overshoot. It's fitting absolutely perfect. There. Really visually looking nice, so I'd expect it to go up. I'm trading 20 MMS, 20 videos this weekend. My per trade is $200. I am trading it. When you say you're trading 20 micros, are you trading them as just a scalp, are you? As in one lump sum? You've just selected, you're trading 20 micro contracts. Is that what you mean? Okay, so you're splitting down. Okay. I was going to say, if you're trading 20 micros, that's exactly the same as trading two contracts. Difference is with the micros, it's going to cost you a lot more in fees. But if you're dividing them all up, mind you can do that anyway. Let me have a look. I go 10. 5 at 6 points. Okay, so you divide it all up. Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to say, I thought you were trading them in a lump sum, and I thought you might as well just trade 2 contracts. You're going to save yourself a ton in fees. But yeah, I get what you're saying now. You have got that option. It is a good idea if you want to separate it and maybe have one, have you stop here and have one profit target here, one profit target here, one down here. It is good to divide it all up. You just haven't got that option with 2 contracts. You can divide it into 2, that's it. But with micros, yeah, it costs you a little bit more in fees, but ultimately, I wouldn't let it stop me doing that just because they're slightly more in fees. If it works for you and you're making, you're building the account, the fees really are irrelevant. So I have a feeling we've got a leg up and a pullback. Now, I wouldn't be going short in that, and I wouldn't be going short there, so I think there's a good chance that's going to get stopped out. I could be completely wrong, but my way of thinking is we've failed this, so I think that's a good chance to go back in if it is a range, and because of the overshoot. So I would expect that to push up and take that stop out. That's what I would expect to happen. So now my thoughts are, damn it, I didn't say that. Channel down. That wouldn't have been a bad place to go short. Having said that, because of the overshoot, I'd be concerned. And because I saw the overshoot here, that's why I put that to it. Channel, break, new low. Then we could go back up. So
order filled.
I'm going to take a risk here because I think it's worth it. We've had 2 pushes down to a new no. This to me looks like it's going up. Just going to give that one extra tick. Because of this overshoot, I expect a leg and a leg. So I expect that to push up. Which is why, break, new low, I expected that to push up. Let's see if it works. I would expect that to get stopped out, which means it's likely to go a bit higher. High enough to hit that, I think. So we've had a channel down there, we've had a break, new low. So that's made a new low. And it's comfortably hit that as well. So let's see. Let's see if it triggers that.
Stop filled.
Okay. You're gambling, are you? It can happen. Okay, so there we go. A loss there. Because of the overshoot, I expected that to go up. It's still holding there. We'll see. So, channel, break, new low. Wow, that's coming down. So I don't know what's going on here. Perhaps this is just 2 pushes down to a new low. So if so, I took that based on what I'm seeing here. We had a channel down break, a new low. Possible larger trend down. I did draw that, but then got rid of it at the time. Let's have a look. Yeah. Did I have it about there, I think? So, yeah, that kind of fits okay now, doesn't it? So, we've had this channel down, overshoot, 2 pushes up. I would expect that to push up, but I'm surprised it did that. Does Matt? Yes, he does. Yes, he does. His website's full of good stuff. Full of good stuff. Okay. I expect this to go up now. No, I don't really want to counter trend trade here. Let's clean this up. Let's get rid of that now. Let's put that back just for reference. There, wasn't it? Yeah, well, the reason I bought there is because of this. I mean, if I was on a PA, I wouldn't have traded that because I consider that a riskier trade. But I expected this to possibly fade, and because of the overshoot, I expected a push up. When it started pushing back up, I thought it was going to trap them shorts and push higher quickly, which is why I took that. But it doesn't always work that way. So let's shove that out of the way anyway for a minute. It's properly dropping, isn't it? Oh, just seems to be dropping, doesn't it? Maybe there's a couple of legs down. Let's put that there. Maybe a leg and a leg. Let's see if there's a bigger channel from yesterday. What happened with that trade? That one there, I took that based on two things. You took it on my broker's account. See, I took that one based on, we had the channel there at the time. So we had a channel down, break, new low. And the reason I took it is because, one, I wouldn't have normally taken that on a PA account, put it that way. But I take slightly more aggressive trades, you could call it. It looked to me like just a range. So there was two reasons I took that. One, looked like an overshoot, and in most cases overshoots will, well, in a lot of cases they can they certainly pull back in the opposite direction, so they can correct, they can do outright reversal, but I expected that to push back in, which it did, and I expected to push it higher. So there was two reasons. Maybe you need to tell when is risky so I don't lose money. No, I told you, mate, don't copy me. Don't copy people, because you don't know how I'm trading. You went short on NQ and grab. Good on you, mate. No, don't. That's why you don't copy any people. You don't know what's going in my head, whether I'm trading on an evaluation at the moment, see? Yeah, that's why you shouldn't. No. Don't copy anybody else. Don't copy anybody else. I took that base. It was a riskier trade. I took it based on the possible overshoot. Yeah, I'm assuming you haven't really lost $1,200. That's why you never copy anybody. I'm assuming you haven't really. Yeah, don't copy anybody else. Never copy anybody else. Because if they lose, you're just copying their losses. I take riskier trades when I'm trading on evaluations. That's what I said earlier. Never copy anybody else. Never copy anybody else. I could be absolutely lying to you. Never trust anybody else. What people tell you, really, especially when you're trading your own money, really. When I mentioned the 90% win rate was before I blew those two accounts. I had my win rate before I took those trades. I'd taken 14 trades and lost one. Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah, it does sound like it. Yeah, it does sound like it, doesn't it? Yeah, it does sound like it. Okay, what is going on here? Yeah, I think you're right, Flip. What is going on here? There is a failure there. I'd expect that to push back up, but What is going on here? Is there a bigger channel here or what? What am I missing? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I thought. No, that doesn't sound like someone who's telling the truth, does it? Is this an overshoot or what? See, looking on the NQ, this is a real overshoot, isn't it? But you don't know whether there's another channel formed there or what. My concern is after this, catching those highs again, that we have a decent pullback. See, tempted to take something like that up to the EMA and that, but I don't know. I think it's dangerous. I had my channel set like that, so this seems like an overshoot, so I wouldn't be shocked if that gets trapped. There is a fail second entry short, possibly, but I don't know. See, let's think about this. I think this is just more sideways than a drop.
Order filled.
There. I'm going to take a riskier trade here because I think there's going to be some stops there. This is definitely an overshoot. Yeah, if anybody does, don't copy my trades. This is a risky trade. It said it's an evaluation.
Target filled.
Okay, I thought that was worth a go. It was a failure, and I like the way we were going to trap it. I didn't wait till it pushed up a little bit, but risky trade. I'm seeing two overshoots here. If there is a bigger channel, it's an overshoot. Certainly this channel, there's an overshoot. And on the NQ, you've got a nice channel there and a really big overshoot, so I'd at least expect a half-decent pullback. But I didn't want to push my luck just in case it's going to continue down. You just don't know at the moment. I'm not sure now whether that channel is valid, is it? I don't know. Okay, let's leave it there. And the reason I'm leaving it is because of this. So you had two pushes up and down again. See, that looks like leg and a leg. Maybe trap some more. Let's have a look. Not sure if I'm ready to go long again just yet. You have to sit and wait, figure out exactly what's going on. Overshoot. A few attempts to go lower. It is likely to push up, but I'm not quite ready to go long yet, I don't think. because there could be just maybe something bigger, trap some longs and then come down. I don't know. Yeah, there is a possibility this could just drop bearish. You never know. Do you know what? I wouldn't be shocked if this comes down. Just having a quick glance on the 4,000 tick chart. It's hard to say that actually fits not terribly bad. So there is a possibility it could come down. I mean, you could say there's a channel of break at a new low, but it actually doesn't fit too bad. It's a bit hard to say. Having said that, for me, it's probably the nicest channel out of the pair of them. Out of the three of them, we got a touch, 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 touch. Fitting nice there. So for me, bit of an overshoot, 2 legs back, and then a push down, and then we pushed up and we'd almost retested those. So it's hard to say, isn't it? Call that a small break. Lower high, maybe it comes down. I don't know. I got mixed feelings here. There is a possibility it could come down. It's tried 3 times. You may even call that a triple test. But while I got mixed signals about this, I'm probably staying out, I think. Come to Russia and you can throw me about like your wife. And I'm assuming that's is that Robert Hallmark back again as Lucinda? Yeah, it sounds like it. Might be the same one. I wouldn't mind if I could see a picture of it, then I could give you a definitive answer. There's some strange people. That's why I stopped the comments in the end. I kept getting spammed by, what do they call him, Money Max. A lot of people on the... Well, I'd had about 2 or 3 messages from people from the Facebook group said, just watch out for that guy. I think they called him Money Max, something Max or something, I don't know. Yeah, you're going to get a few people on you for whatever reason. Are we pushing up? In fact, I wonder if there's a bigger channel there. I think that is possible. Touch. There is possibly a bigger channel up there. There is a... See, looking at that NQ quickly, that channel and the break, we've got a push-up break. There could be a second entry long, so it might be a channel break and then a push-up. But I don't know. I thought the same here, but then it seems to get another bearish bar and another one, so you just don't know whether we're going to go down. It's kind of like why I like this, because in all fairness, if this flipping tanks, there's no way this is going to go up. So it does help your decision, mate. Sometimes, you know, you do ask yourself, does it confuse things? I think I'm better off. I think I kind of like having it because if all of a sudden, the thing about the NQ, it can move really quick. Well, I mean, you NQ users will obviously know that more than me. But sometimes this will move quick and it'll give, you know, if I'm thinking about going long and all of a sudden this takes a dive. But with touching, I think there's a chance this is going to push higher. There is a second entry long there. So there is a possibility that we are maybe... I like the way, because we see that all the time. We push up sideways, and it does look like the start, especially after the overshoot. It does look like the start of a possible uptrend. But while we're still below the EMA, I don't think I could comfortably think about going along yet, because if you jump in here, all of a sudden this touches the EMA and decides to come back down some more. Yeah, this is looking semi-bullish. This is more bearish. Yes, still. Sorry, 4,000 tick chart, I'd say. Well, it's struggling to get above here, so that may come down. So there is the possibility we could get some more downward stuff. It's hard to say at the moment. I mean, we've got sort of 2 legs down. We've got quite a bullish bar there, and it hasn't come down and ticked it. So maybe it's just having a couple of legs back before it pushes up again. So who knows? If it's the same one, Chris, when you subscribe, you got to wait 5 minutes to get a comment. So I'm guessing we got about another minute and a half to wait. If we get someone else in here with comments, the thing is, they've got to sign up, then they've got to wait 5 minutes, and it takes me about 2 seconds to delete them. So I'll be interested to see if we get someone else in another minute or so. I feel I went short on that long you took. Where was the long? That one there. Oh, you went short there, did you? Part of the reason I took that is because of this. Because of the overshoot, I would have expected that to not necessarily go in the other direction, but certainly have a breakout, which is why I took that, because it was also a failure. And I waited for this bar to push up a bit, and I think I took it. Where did I take it? Where did I take it? I think I took it here. Yeah, I took it there. So I waited for that bar to almost finish. And as far as I'm concerned, it's closer to stopping that bar out enough for me to take it in it, and it did what it was supposed to. Because it does look like 2 legs. But I tend to avoid those now. Just watch out for them. If you get an overshoot, it can mess things up. I think overshoots, someone else to tell you anyway, overshoots, I think they can result in a reversal, a correction, or sometimes just a break. But it's clear, we touched nice here, let's put it down, touched nice here a couple of times, close here, nice here, and it was sort of holding there, and then we had a few quick pushes. So when you have that, just be careful about jumping straight into a short. But I get why you did it. We were a little bit sideways, 2 leg. You could say, for me, it was a second entry short, 2 legs up off the key entry point. You were trading it, or you could say you were trading it from the breakout. But when we've had an overshoot, I just avoid getting straight back into a short because, yeah, complete reversal, a channel break or a trend break, or a correction. So I just avoid stuff like that when we've had an overshoot, and you'll save yourself some less losses. And I learned that the hard way. But yeah, when it broke above there, I expected a bit more of a push, actually, because I thought there may be a few in there. But I think because of the overshoot, that kept a few more out. But it was quite an obvious overshoot. It wasn't a small one either, so it's clear to see. But yeah, I had my suspicions based on the NQ that was coming down, and the 4,000 tick chart as well. The 4,000 tick chart was telling me we were coming up here and struggling, so I think there was a fair chance we were going to come down. And same here, we'd pushed up and we were struggling. So maybe there is something slightly wider. I don't quite know. UNQ boys who trade this all the time will probably know better than me. But it does look like a couple of legs up. It's hard to say at the moment. So I might have to see there's a bigger channel on here. I don't know whether there is, because it's a bit confusing here, isn't it? It's a bit confusing. Overshoot, perhaps just a correction before we come down some more. So yeah, overshoots are usually a correction, a break, or a reversal. In that case, we had a break, and then it did continue down. So did it go down to there? Oh, that's interesting. Right down to that measured leg. So I wonder if there's anything bigger over a couple of days. Yeah, it's a bit confusing, the picture here. NQ's a lot clearer. We had sort of a mainly sideways, but then we seem to have quite a nice channel with a break and a new low. So that's why I like having this. Sometimes this picture is a little bit confusing, but this makes things a bit clearer. So we have had a new low now, so we could now go off in this direction. So we know that played out, if that was 2 legs down. I mean, this is quite a steep channel. I can't see it going down for much longer without, mind you, look at that one. Yeah, I mentioned that when I first came on stream. We did this, we hit a new all-time high a couple of weeks ago, and for the following day, was it that afternoon? I think it was something like this, and I came back in the afternoon, and I think it had dropped 90 points. So, what do we have, like 2 legs up? So yeah, maybe a couple of legs and a bit of a pullback. Because we've been doing a bit of sideways. I mean, that was completely sideways, wasn't it? It's quite unusual we have a day like that. Completely sideways. Usually we'll have some sideways, then a drop like here, sideways, and a push. But that one was literally within 10 points. That wasn't it? It's quite unusual, that I think. We have a day. Let's have a look. Maybe not. Let's have a look. Yeah, so we had a day within about 16 points, top to bottom. It's not unheard of, I don't think, but usually we'll have maybe some sideways, and then usually I'll come back later or have a look later and we've had a rally in one or another direction. Okay, channel break, new low. So are we continuing down? I'm not even sure if, in fact, just for now, I'm going to remove that bigger one. Because I've adjusted that one to look like a 2-tier channel. Touch here, and we've had an overshoot again. So it's just to get on to read now. We seem to get an overshoot and it continues on down. So it may be really, we may end up having a really strong downtrend today. I can't see it going down that steep forever though. Well, certainly not the rest of the day. We'll be miles down here otherwise. Trouble is, when we had an overshoot like that, a new low, a lot of the times we'll push off, so I can't bring myself to looking for a short, even though it sort of looks bearish. We had that overshoot. To be fair, if that was a trend without that overshoot, that one for me for sure would have worked. I mean, if we didn't have that overshoot, regardless of the counting, for me, I'd have jumped all over that one. I mean, it's like first, second, third entry. It's a third entry, but for me, that's by the by. We've had a couple of pushes up and a breakout. So I don't know about you guys, but if it wasn't for the overshoot, I'd have taken that 100%. Because when it pushes up like that above and it sits nice and tight, I get a really nice sort of comfortable feeling about going short there. So it's a bit of sideways and then we sort of get two legs up it. Mac have a spike and downtrend channel without the overshoot. Okay, so he's got no overshoot now. Trouble is, I would have thought for sure he'd have taken that one. Trouble is, you can't adjust that until we've hit this. So he has a spike in channel. You mean he's incorporating that, Bud? So what you're saying is he's got something like that, is he? Okay, let me have a look. Are you on about something like that? Yeah, okay. I don't know how the hell he gets the ideas for these. Until that's formed, there's nothing you can do, really, but... well, I say I don't know how he gets the ideas. His experience. Trouble is, you go from here, that doesn't touch, but in a downtrend, it doesn't really matter so much if it does. Whether it comes from here or turns, or whether it comes from there. See, my slight issue with going short now is if this is the bottom of our trend channel, we haven't quite come as low as close to it, have we? So that tells me sometimes it's hard to understand what goes. Yeah, you know, most of the time it's perfectly understandable. But sometimes he'll give you the oddest looking range. I mean, you know, I've seen Mac, you know, draw stuff just the oddest looking. You know, that type of thing. I've just seen him with some of the oddest looking channels sometimes. But I suppose there's a method in his madness, isn't there? But yeah, I wouldn't have done that one. I think naturally, you would have done this initially, wouldn't you? And then maybe as it's continuing down, take it to there, which makes sense. And then you're thinking, yeah, it's working fine. It fits actually nice, doesn't it? But then when they have the overshoot, you naturally think, if that was a channel for me, I'm amazed that didn't work in that case, because you can fade it out of a channel. Clearly, like two legs, we go a little bit sideways, then we have two nice legs up, nice bearish bar. So it's unusual that. I mean, I never see. Well, perhaps he took that short, that one there. Yeah, got stopped out. Say if that wasn't an overshoot, I'd have taken that for sure. The bit that told me not to take that was because the overshoot. So perhaps he had it initially with an overshoot, and then perhaps when it started going here, he extended it. Because obviously, as it's sort of, I could say, it's choppy. In all fairness, mate, if that for me, let's take that out of the equation. I just like how nice it's fitting there. We got a touch, and it's fitting beautifully there. So for me, that channel visually looks nice. Now, for me, that's an overshoot. So I would stay out of the next short, yeah? And for me, we go a little bit sideways, and then off the bottom, we have two beautiful legs up, followed by a lovely big bearish bar, which triggers above this green one here, fits in the range. You can adjust that one, fits in the range, fits nice. That for me would be an absolute beauty trade to take. But the only reason I stayed out of that trade is, for me, this looked like an overshoot. So perhaps he had it marked as an overshoot, and then perhaps he's just, you know, because we all adjust our channels as they go on. Well, obviously he's been doing it donkey's years, so you've got to say he's got to know what he's doing. Oh, you said he had it as a spiking channel, didn't you? So let's say from there, maybe. Yeah, so the problem with the spiking channel, you're missing all this, but as I said, I don't think it matters because it comes up to the EMA and pushes down, so it's still a channel, isn't it? He'll adjust that channel in the review. Yeah, I mean, for me, that overshoot was for sure. And I think most traders will probably see that as an overshoot. And then I always then stay out of a short then, and rightly so, because it went sideways. We sort of pushed up, bounced off the bottom. We had two beautiful legs up, clear legs, push up, sideways, push up. We didn't come back to the bottom of this little range there. It pushed above the midline and dropped, and I love it when it hugs though. For there, that is like the perfect takeoff spot, and the only reason I can see that didn't work was because of the overshoot, and it made perfect sense to me at the time. But then obviously you readjust, don't you? If it does come down from there, then he's read that really well. Yeah, see, the thing is, another thing which makes me a bit nervous is if you look at the NQ, I had it there initially, then I've had this for a while, I've had it there, so let's call it a two-tier channel, that's working nicely there, we've got a touch here, touch here, touch here, but now we've got an overshoot again. So we seem to get the overshoot first on there, and then it continued down, so sometimes these charts are an absolute piss easy to read some days. They're so predictable, you know where they're going to go, the legs work perfectly, and then the next day they're completely different. Mixed personality, Max calls them, and it makes sense. One day you feel like you're out with a complete stranger, the next day you feel like you've known this guy for years. So we had that channel, a little bit of a break and a new low. So let's see what we're doing now. I still don't trust shorts just yet, because it's not the most amazing looking channel. So we've had a channel, we've had a break and a new high clearly. Let's see what happens now. Yeah, see with the overshoot. For me, it's an overshoot on the NQ. So the NQ, I would say, looks to me like it's going up. Thanks for whoever recommended Suits. I'm really enjoying it. I've just started season 2. I've only been watching it a week or so. I've just started season 2. It's really good. Right. That is very tempting. But I'm staying out at the moment because the NQ is putting me off going short there. How hot Meghan Markle. Yeah, she's just really started dating the young lad. So I forget his name now. Yeah, I kind of wanted to see what she was like, really, because, it's the first time I've seen Suits, and obviously, I know she's sort of married to Harry, but yeah, she's pretty alright, isn't she? I know she's got a hard time off. She's been ripped to pieces from the British press. I don't quite know why, really. Piers Morgan in general as well. To be honest with you, between me and you, I think the bloke's a prick, personally. He's a bit of a drip, but he give her a real hard time. Harvey is perfect. They're really good actors. Some great characters in there. But I actually kind of like the other receptionist as well. What's her name? Ginger-haired one. There's something about her I can't like. She's kind of cute as well. But But yeah, Donna, yeah, she's all right, Donna, actually. Yeah, she is. Yeah, I bet she'd rip me to pieces, wouldn't she? She's got that little bit of a psycho about her. I kind of like that. You don't know what you're gonna get. Yeah, it's just good, actually. I'm enjoying it. It annoys me though. The other lawyer, what's his name? I'll get used to the names. The one with the teeth, the one with the big teeth. He fries my brain. He does. In fact, I was watching him on a. When I like to get to know these characters, I like to watch them on an interview and see how really different they are. And I watched him. He was on a chat show in Australia, I think. Yeah, completely different. What is going on here? Yeah, I'm really not sure what to do here, so I'm staying out. It's like Lewis has an episode where you like him. And once, yeah, he does a bit, doesn't he? Because he's a bit creepy, isn't he? You wouldn't trust him as far as you could throw him. And he does come up like the sort of the annoying one of the bunch. But it is enjoyable. I usually watch about 2 a night, I think. It's so hard to know what to do here. Simple thing is to do nothing. Trouble is, I mean, in all fairness, you could say we're having a bit of a break there. In fact, I wonder whether that spike in channel maybe is going to come down to this level, which is going to straighten this bottom out a bit more. And if it does, I'd expect that to push up a bit higher. What I mean is maybe something like that. Who knows? Penguin, haven't seen anything. We got this downtrend start from yesterday's PA price action. The thinner channel played out, so we easily could get 2 legs up. Yeah, read that again. No short entries. No second entry long. Banks below the EMA. Yeah. Yeah, I've had this in mind. I did have originally a leg from there. You've got to take into consideration yesterday's, I think, and maybe a few days. I think I had it like that initially, and we'd broken the lows. But I think it was a couple of weeks ago where we hit all-time highs. We absolutely tanked, and we hit it there, and then we made a few efforts, and then we had a quick drop. And then we had 3 attempts to go high and another drop. And then we got a low to sideways, another drop. So I think there's a good chance we could maybe see. It could be something like that, couldn't it? Somewhere around about there, maybe there. I don't know. So you never quite know, do you? But in all fairness, that actually fits kind of nice at the lows, doesn't it? In which case, I would expect probably a leg and then a leg. But it's hard to know. You never quite know. And I tend to try and have the policy, if I'm not sure what's going on, which is quite often, I tend to just stay out of it. That's Penguin's chat. Oh, yeah. No, I agree with him. I agree with him when you say he was looking at it. He stopped doing... What was he stopped? He stopped doing his daily bar by bars, I think, hasn't he? It does seem like he's always rushed off his feet, doesn't he? He always seems busy when you hear him talk. Always seems like he's rushing around. Yeah, see this? It definitely looks like an overshoot for me on the NQ. So here's the NQ. We seem to go a bit sideways, and then we touch. I had that as initial channel, which was fine. Then we had the overshoot, and then we continued down, so I extended it. We got a touch, and an overshoot. He stopped everything. No more videos. Ender J charts. Isn't he still involved in the forum? Isn't he? That's a waste, really, because he's a talented guy. Well, it's a waste. Waste not the word. Sad, actually, especially with people who follow him. But he's still involved in, isn't he, to a degree? Or has he just had enough? So this, I mean, at the moment we're pushing up. after this overshoot, which may mean we may have a bit more of a break here. But I think he's still involved in his forum, isn't he? I think. He's definitely a good trader. He's definitely found a unique way of trading there. It actually makes perfect sense, really, when you think about what he's doing. It's just second entries here, but on a as opposed to a couple of bars up as more of a leg and a leg. But I like him a lot. He's a good trader. So I have a feeling now it's time to. I think we're going to push up here. There is a failure there. Let's post one chart around about 10 AM. No trade so far. Yeah. I'm sure I had an email from him. I think I had an email early, didn't I? Wednesday was the last one I had. Right. Yeah, Wednesday I think was the last one I had. Okay, I was tempted to get in there, but it just doesn't make sense, really. I had a fair idea it was going over because there's definitely an overshoot on the NQ. And we got a channel up there, so I expected a push there, but yeah, it actually fits really nice there, doesn't it? Let's get rid of that. It's fitting lovely there, actually. So it's a bit hard to figure out what's going on here. I'm not massively convinced that this is a spike in a channel because depending on if you touch there, you've only really touched it twice, so it's hard to say. So the trouble is, you know, every trader adjusts things, so I would still say that's a spike, a break, and a new low, personally. I'd like to see what some other traders think of that, because I actually really like that. Then we got an overshoot. Overshoots often lead to a break, and A pressed out, we had a break. And you'll see them all the time. They'll break, make a new low, and then go off in the other direction. So I'm going to leave that like that, because that's what I believe to be right. It fits beautifully there, even to there. Touch, touch, touch. But we seem to be going off in the other direction now. So there is always the possibility that we could be doing this, and I wouldn't be shocked if we did. Lads, please tell me why you got this New York London display. This up here, all it is, bud, is if you've got a PC, if you go into your app store and then just type in, not one of those, I'll find it for you. Get off. Oh, don't do that. Let's try again. Go into your app store and then type in desktop clock time zone widgets. And when you download it, I think it cost me, it was about £2 English, £2.20, something like that. It wasn't much, £2.20. So when you click it, this comes up, and I can go into here and I can adjust the color, the time zone, the height, opacity, and all that. And then just switch it on at the moment, switch them on and off. But I like it because I can have a quick glance at the time, whereas up there you've got to focus, and it's quite small up there. I can see it. I haven't got the best eyesight, but it's not terrible. But I like the idea. I know what time it is in New York, obviously, which is the correct time zone for this. And obviously I can have a quick look to where I am in the UK. But yeah, it's about £2 something, I think it was. Well, I'll tell you. You're welcome. Successful trading still. For me, I'm doing okay. My trading is okay. That's my stronger point. It's my psychology I'm still working on. What was it? What's it called? Desktop clock. It's one of these. Desktop clock. What was it? Desktop clock. Time zone. I think it was that one. Was that the one? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Right, it's not coming up as a price. I thought it would because obviously I bought it, but that's it. You can adjust them, change them, whatever you want, move them around. I mean, I can move these around wherever I want. I've got two there. Why? I don't know. Yeah, so that's it. Where was it? Desktop clock. $299. Yeah, that's okay. It's not too bad, really, is it? It is useful. The time's just not big enough for me. It takes you a second to glance, doesn't it, and work it out. But I like the way I can just flick my eyes open. I know exactly where it is on the main two, the main two time frames I need. It does look like to me. So we've got a channel over here with an overshoot now. As we know, overshoot, correction, reversal. Can't it show in seconds? I wish it bloody would, mate. That's the only thing I was looking at, thinking, I could have seconds. No, it doesn't. It would be nice because that's usually when I'm looking the market open. That's the only time I think I'm looking in seconds. But minutes is enough for me at the moment. It's mainly just I can have a quick glance. Certain times of the day for news and stuff like that. I wish you could assign something to time and flash, because when I write trade about is a nice neat feature that makes a sound 5-minute candle is about to close. That's a good idea. There may be something here, I don't know, but what I'd like is to have something to flash when the news is due, because if you trade during the news, it could potentially be devastating to your account. I wish you could have something, that you put something on and it starts to flash, because I've had a great big red sign there, 3 minutes to the news, and I'm still holding a trade, ready to hold it an order, ready to drop in. But sometimes you're that focused on what's going on, I'm missing a great big red sign there. But it'd be a shame, really, you can't have maybe an audible warning or maybe something that flashes, flashes red or something that, when we're getting close to it, use your iPhone rings. Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, I've got an Alexa right next to me, but I tend to not do it so it doesn't blurt out for you guys. But yeah, you've only got to forget it once, so haven't you? And it can cause you a fair bit of loss. So I'm not thinking of going along here. Not that it's not going to go up. But we do seem to be finding some resistance there and here as well. And it's it might just be finding a bottom, and this all might be relevant. Break, new low. Yeah. So I wouldn't take longs that far from the EMA anyway. So there is a short there. I generally don't pick tops. So I'm just going to sit tight there. Because that's triggered, and the last thing you want to see is that to trigger and it start pushing. So there is a possibility it could be going up. It's hard to say. We seem to have had this lot of downtrend, then we've had a break, and then a new low and a bunch of bottoms, and so it could go off in that direction. J up $700 down evil. Good on you, mate. Still 900 to go tomorrow. That's all right. You're doing right there. Hopefully, fingers crossed, this 71% finishes. I think midnight Eastern time tomorrow. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we may get another 80% off. It tends to flick between now 80% and 71%. It never costs more than 50% off. But my advice is always wait for the 71s and the 80s. We haven't had a 90 for a while now, for a couple of months. When they hit 80, yeah, I'd personally wait for the discounts, definitely. But lately, when they've had a discount, they've had the 1 day to pass, which I got put off with initially because I thought it can promote gambling a little bit and it can promote you taking risk, and I still think it does. I think it's useful for some people who, can trade and build in accounts, but it can be a bit dangerous for people who are in that sort of silly risk stage, which we all go through. I've calmed down on it now, but the trouble is, you think one day, or if I take a risk today, I can get my PA tomorrow. I got a bit mixed feelings about it, really. They didn't really have a great, I noticed a few people were moaning about it when they first started it. I think people have laid off now. I think maybe they should just say, no minimum day rather than passing 1 day. If you have this passing 1 day thing, then I think it's saying basically you take a silly risk. Because at the end of the day, you've got a $2,500 drawdown, you've got to hit $3,000, so you've got to make 120% profit in a day. Well, that you can't make 100%, 120% profit a day without taking a bloody big risk. But if they're going down that route, because I believe a few other firms, there's no minimum day, so promotes blowing your accounts. Yeah, it's good for Apex, not good. Yeah. I'm not naive. I get the fact that Apex are a business and they've got to make money, but they've also got to keep to an element of respect, I think. If you think these companies are just taking the piss, then, we all know they got to make money. Of course they have. That's what a business is about. But as well as having the ability to make money, you've certainly got to keep customers happy. So I think maybe that if they're going down that route, because I know some companies don't have a minimum, so maybe they just advertise it is from now on or whatever, no minimum time to pass, rather than saying 1 day, because that just says to me, here you go, press this button and see if you get lucky. It's a bit of a, it's the type of thing you'd see on maybe a bookies website or a gambling website, not really a trading website. So I got mixed feelings on it, but it's useful for some people. I know some people like to get it done quick. I certainly do. I don't like to hang around. I'd rather get onto a PA. So I tend to speed them up a bit. But whenever I've tried to get them in 1 day, yeah, it's hit and miss. It depends how sensible you are. Now, I noticed, I think Wilson traded the news, I think with 5 points, done it, because I noticed he posted the video past another one, and then he posted the video of him doing it. So I got no issues with that. End of the day, it works. I've not done it myself, but I know some people do it. They'll get 2 evaluations, they'll get 2 charts, they'll go long on one and short on the other. They'll set the points and contract size, how many they need to pass, and they'll just let it play out. Usually, one will win and one won't. But I have seen, if the market moves quick, it'll spike up through your profit and come down without, and it hit the stop without triggering it. I saw it happen on, was it Bart Flies, one of his charts one day. I was watching him trade and it shot up 5 points, went straight through his profit, came down and hit his stop, didn't trigger his profit, it's his stop. It's amazing whenever it hits your stop, you always get taken out, but it can push up and down through your profit. Yeah, there's something shifty going on there, isn't there, I think? Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, clever. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What's going on here? Now look. I wonder. It's a bit of a confusing picture, isn't it, this? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So you find your Apex, okay? Because I think you did your first, the first time you used them, wasn't it, recently? Was it last week? Was it the week before? End of the week before? I can't remember now. Because you've been trading your own money, haven't you, initially? It's a great way of doing it. It really is. Put it this way, I couldn't have afforded to trade. See, my opinion is, and it has been for a while, you have to expose yourself and experience emotions, and the only way to do that, you just can't get that on a sim. You learn to trade on a sim till you get to the stage where you feel you're at the next level and you can try and build money. Now you want 9 more, yeah. It's strange, really. People go, oh yeah, but you need to trade on sim. Yeah, you do, absolutely. You need to learn to trade on sim so you know what's going on. But then at some point, you've got to introduce the psychological side, which is by far the hardest part to master. And the only way you can start to master that is to experience it. But unfortunately, do you know what? Someone messaged me yesterday and he said, you talk about losing money, and there was a guy in here the other day saying, how much have you spent on 20,000? I said, and he went, occasionally you'll say, oh, it's a lot of money, blah, blah, blah. But let me put it like this. This is what I would consider as my career. Now, if you went and did a university degree to say, let's say, be a nurse in the UK or something like that, you would go to university for, say, 3 years. Now, the cheapest university course per year in the UK is about £9,500. So if you did a 3-year university course to learn a career, including materials, books, materials, all that sort of stuff, you would be talking at least £30,000 in the UK, at least. And that is in 3 years. And people don't bat an eyelid to do that. Yeah, of course, it's university, it's my degree, this is my career, I've got to pay it. So when you think about the money you put into trading, all you're really doing is paying for almost you're paying for a university degree in trading, if you want to put it like that. But when you think about it like that, you think, okay, well, that makes perfect sense. We're paying for a very, very unique skill, which very few people do it. 15 the course room so far, call outs. And lost around about 10 in the first year. Yeah, I would say the whole thing's probably cost me 20,000. I'd say I've had 3/4 of that back. I had 10,000 back last year, and I get some from Apex. Excuse me, commissions from Apex for me affiliate link. So I would say if I get 5,000 in a payout, I would break even. And a trader once said to me, you've made it as a trader when you make back all the money you've lost. So when you hit break even, that is the time you'll start to advance. You'll start to then obviously makes perfect sense. If it's cost you 20,000, you've got it all back. For Apex backup, if your power internet comes down, logged out your PC, with our trade on your laptop, separate internet connection like 4G mobile. What I do, mate, there's a few things I do. I have this on here, which you can see on my right, which shows me my positions in rhythmic. So if anything goes for rhythmic, so I can hit the cross and shut that down. I also have my orders and positions in here. So if anything goes wrong, I can click that down first and foremost. Now, if my power goes, or my internet goes, I go straight onto my mobile phone, I hook up to the data on my mobile phone, which enables me to get straight back into NinjaTrader and either close this or close that. And also I can go onto the Apex website on my mobile phone and flatten everything. So there are options. So always make sure you can hook up to something on your phone. As well, some other form of internet data, because it has happened to me. So just keep that in mind. So that's what I do, but yeah. But yeah, I can hook straight into my mobile data if this goes down and then just shut down. But what you'll see me do is if I ever open a trade, I always open them up here out the way. Like
Order
this. If I'm doing a
submitted.
sell order, I'm up here, so I'm 5, 10, 15, 20, 20. I'm 25 points out the way. So if for some reason the internet goes, at least I've got 25 points in that direction before it triggers me. And then failing that, if the shit completely hits the fan and I can't do it, it'll trigger me and I'll still have me stop in place. So at very worst, it'll be like a losing trade. You may even get lucky and it may win. So I just have mine well out the way. You'll never see me open them here. I always open right at the top or right at the bottom, just for safety. There is a lower high there. Let me have a look. Tempting, but my issue I have at the moment is with the NQ. Nice channel, touch, fit in nice, overshoot, push up. It could push up, bounce a few times off here, and then push up. So I'm staying out of a short until that comes below the EMA. Same again on the 4,000 tick chart. We're above the EMA now. We've had so your guess is as good as mine. Whether it's going to come down or up, but at the moment I'm staying out of this because the picture's unclear and the way it's looking on here, there's a few bars stacking side by side. I think the best option is to just stay out of it. So I measure my success by 50% win rate to 2-to-1 risk to reward. Simple, yeah. I don't know what you guys feel about risk percentage wise. When I first started trading, Andrew Lockwood told me he tended to talk about the 2 to 3% risk. Now, I know some traders will trade on a 50%. Let's say some traders, professional traders, will trade at 50%. So their win to loss rate is about 50%. But they may risk 1 to get 3. So even though they've only got a 50-50 chance of winning, they'll be risking 1 and making 3. So obviously over time they'll win. But if it's 50-50, you could flip a coin 5 times and it could land on heads 4 times out of 5. So you could lose 4 or 5 trades in a row. Whereas scalping high probability trades, you expect to get 85 to 90% win rate. You know, I would have said you can risk a little more. And I had this discussion with Daniel Kuchin maybe a year or so ago, and he said he thought 5% was okay. So trading 1 contract on a $2,500 drawdown is around about 5%, maybe 6%. But once you start getting away from the drawdown, then obviously, you know, it extends. So still not ready to go short just yet. So I think I've had this dilemma for a long time now. I think it's what's not helped me trading, going for 2 points, because you're risking 10 to 12% on every trade. Maybe even 13 or 14% if you get a big bar, you lose 2 of those. High, low. Lower high, you mean? You're about there. Yeah, trouble is at the moment we're above the EMA on the... so the NQ, we've had this channel down, touch. I did extend it because it looks like a 2T. Then we've had an overshoot. So we could come out, bounce a couple of times and push up. So that's a fair possibility. And on the 4,000 tick chart, we're still above the EMA at the moment. So there is a possibility. flip to 100 times and go for 8 tails in a row. 5. Yeah, well, that's what I mean. See, if you're trading on it, if your win rate is 50%, that's okay, because if you're risking 1 point to make 3 every time, you're a profitable trader. But I think you need to, reduce the percentage risk. But, I'd say 9 out of my 10 trades will win. So if I'm trading at a 90% win rate, 5% is okay for me, because I'm not expected to lose 5 or 6 trades in a row. Do you know what? I'm just wondering whether that's a channel there. That would make sense, wouldn't it? Yeah, see, I get why people are thinking about shorts here, but the 4,000 tick chart and the NQ are both telling me there's more of a chance of us going up. I've tested the flat at all phone app as a backup, but it's too unreliable. It is unreliable, yeah, I agree. Also, Apex state they're under no obligation to honour the closure of the app. Yeah, I just think it's another line in defence to use. Failing this, I'll tell you something, and I'll tell you what happened to me. Most of you guys remember this, but there's a bit that you don't remember, and I kept it quiet for a reason, and I'll tell you why. You're not supposed to be able to hold a trade overnight. Well, I did. Do you remember that time I shown you a little video where I couldn't shut these down? I tried all day. Now, Apex tell you if you're not out of a trade by the end of close, 1 minute before close, they'll auto liquidate it. Well, I was waiting and waiting because I couldn't do it, and I never saw any auto liquidate. So I waited till 11 p.m. UK time for an hour to the market to reopen, and hey presto, the order was still there. So I was able to shut them both down. So that was held through the close. Now, you're not supposed to be able to do that. The reason I never said anything, in case Apex get a bit funny about it, well, I've blown those accounts now, so it's irrelevant. But you're not supposed to be able to hold accounts through the close. I clearly did. Not out of choice, because I couldn't shut it down. So I don't know what goes on sometimes. I don't understand all this rhythmic stuff, how it's, there's just problems with it, isn't there, sometimes. Not as much as you may hear. But it is a bit scary, especially if you're up 10 or 20 contracts, 10 or 20 accounts, potentially lose a lot of money. I bet there was a few people that went short there. I hadn't had that drawn at the time, so we got a channel break new low. So you would charge the small rollover fee. I don't know, actually. I didn't even notice. What I noticed, the downside is, if I remember rightly, I was about $400 up when it closed, and it gapped down. It gapped down about 5 points, which would have taken me into the red. Then it pushed back up and then dropped, and I caught it on the way down. And it's a good job I was sat there an hour later, because 3 hours later, the market was down here. And it would have stopped me out. So, but it's not supposed to be able to happen, that. So I don't know. But you guys saw, I put a video over, I played a clip of the video over the stream of me trying multiple times to hit that cross. It wasn't showing here. I tried opening, shutting, I tried everything I could, and I could not close them. So I thought I'll wait up until 10 o'clock at night UK time and see if they auto liquidate it. And the market closed, it was still there. And then when it opens, hey presto, I hit the crosses, they shut down. So I held it through the open. You're not supposed to be able to do that, so I don't know how the hell that worked. But I was just glad to have kept my account, really. And I ended up about, I think I was up $75 up or something. So, it worked out for me in that time. But if I'd have not thought about coming back, and I'd have come to the market later, it for surely would have eaten up the trailing drawdown, and that would have been the end of it. So you've really got to keep on top of things. I'd say first and foremost, make sure you have that on there, because as soon as you get into a trade, you get a red cross appear, and it's you can see it there. If the account's closed in your orders and positions, it'll be in your positions tab. If your account's closed there, You can always right click and flatten everything there, or right click and cancel all orders. In fact, I usually have them on the other way around. But yeah, so that is my important bit always to check there and there. Always make sure nothing's running. So you'll see if your account balance is going up or down. Make sure these two are blank and make sure they've not got a red cross. So that's your first fail safe. Shut that down. Then if your internet goes, log in on your mobile data if you can, and failing that, just get onto the account and try and flatten it. You've got sort of three levels, haven't you? But in all fairness, in my opinion, I think Apex need to take responsibility for Rhythmic. If part of your Apex package is you have to use Rhythmic, I think they need to say, well, if you say I've got to use it as part of your package, you've got to support it when it goes down. I think if it's a widespread outage and it affects everyone, they generally do. But can you imagine having 10 accounts and something goes down, something like that, and by the time you get back to it, the market's down here and cancel all your accounts? I'll be on the first plane over to the US. But can you imagine how you'd feel if you were Wilson with 20 accounts and that went down and you lost everything from not being your fault? So yeah, for me, it's important, and I like the fact, like I've said before, you guys, I think some of you do, but get OBS and just record your trading. I like the fact that that's recorded, all this recording. So if I can't shut that down, at least I can say to Apex, you can clearly see it's not working. So I like the fact that I've got it recorded, so I've got it for my benefit, so I can go through it, find out exactly what happened, and at least at the end of the day, you can always delete it. So, you don't need to worry about it sucking up all your space on your PC. And OBS is free. It's useful to be able to look back anyway. Sometimes price moves quick and you wonder what the hell happened. So at least you've got a way of looking back. Okay, so we've been going just over 2 minutes. I'm going to take a quick break. Quick 5-minute break. Let's move that. Let's put that there. Quick 5-minute break, quick cup of tea, and I'll be back 4 or 5 minutes. Okay. Do seem to be touching, but we seem to have a break here. So I'm just sitting tight. You need 2 copies of RTrader running at the same time with 2 independent internet connections. I didn't realise you needed 2 copies of RTrader. That's a new one on me. I seem to have heard that somewhere. I don't quite know why. I wonder if I can get 2 lines. 2 separate lines. I'll have to look into that. Not a crime. It's just the way I guarantee I don't get a problem. I have heard that somewhere. Someone else has mentioned that. I've got a real feeling I've heard Darryl Martin say that. I wouldn't swear to it, but it seems to ring a bell. See, at the end of the day, if you've got a lot of money on the line, you've got to really try and cover all, sort of dot the I's and cross the T's, haven't you, to make sure nothing goes wrong. So if my PC goes down, I just close everything on the laptop. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, see, I've only got one PC. I've got a laptop, but it's a Mac. I mean, I could put Windows on it. So, I think, so you have Rhythmic, just Rhythmic on your laptop. Is that what you're saying? So you can close, that's all, theoretically, that's all you need, isn't it? I mean, you can have Rhythmic on your in fact, I've got Rhythmic on my phone. I've not signed up to it, but I downloaded the app a couple of weeks ago. Let me have a look. Yeah. I've got the Rhythmic app. Does anybody know you can do that? I just haven't signed into it yet. I forgot about it, to be honest with you. Yeah, you can get Rhythmic on your phone. So if you sign into your accounts, you should be able to see your orders. I'm going to look into that later. Try and make sure it's all signed in. Does anybody else use the app on the phone? It's a great way to literally quickly, within a few seconds, to be able to close on any positions you've got open. Excellent getting the app. So it's pretty straightforward, yeah? I don't, but I will. Yeah. I remember somebody mentioning it. It might have been Darryl that you can download the app. So the good thing is, obviously, you signed up to your mobile data constantly, aren't you? So if for some reason, as long as you sign into your right password and all that sort of stuff, you should be able to see any open. So that's a good idea, actually. I'm going to sign in later, make sure I get it all up and working. So at least I've got a backup. Because at the moment, if the internet goes down here, then I've got to go into the settings and it takes a minute or two. It might be a quick option. I could probably do it in 10 seconds, get them all closed down. Cool. Yeah, that's it. Just type Rhythmic. Rhythmic. So like I've got it here. It's all green. Is that the same? Yeah. It's just Rhythmic, isn't it? Yeah, Rhythmic Trader. It comes up as. It's like a big arrow, white arrow with a green background. Rhythmic with a little pro sign. sign into there straight away. You can instantly. Well, I mean, how long is it going to take you? Open that, click open, and then just shut position. You should be able to shut everything down in 10 seconds. I mean, there's two real options in there. If you're in a trade, everything's set hopefully, and the trade will run out. But if you've got an order up here waiting, and it goes down, or even if you're hovering it round here waiting to come in, that's probably where it could do you sort of harm. You can't just stay logged into iTrade on your PC. It's one or the other. With the laptop option, you have both at the same time. Yeah, I agree. If you've got a laptop and you've got two. So what you're saying is you have your PC and your laptop next to it with Rhythmic on. That's a good idea, actually. And I may even sell that to my wife so I can buy a nice new shiny laptop. That's a good idea, that. She'd be none the wiser. Yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, if you've got, if you're trading five accounts, you got $200 on the line with each one. That's $1,000. Yeah, you don't even need a great laptop, really, do you, to run? You know, just something to have Rhythmic on. It's a good idea. You could have Rhythmic on a laptop right next to your computer. But obviously, you need it up to a different internet connection. Yeah, you've got to back yourself up, haven't you? Because you can lose a lot of money, really. So, what is going on here? See, if I take that away and draw something like this, let's get rid of the small one. And draw something like this. Maybe a channel with a break. 2 pushes up to go higher. And it may come down. I don't know, actually. Last Friday, the street internet went down. I had 15 open PA accounts. Ouch. And the only thing that saved me was that laptop. Yeah. Thing is, you use that once and it saves your neck. You can't live without it then, and rightly so. Yeah, because things come down and surprise you. Now, you would think, just out of pure numbers game, the chance of it happening when you're in a trade or what would be slimmer, but it's only got to happen once to potentially, like you say, 15 accounts. If you've got your stop at, say, 3 points and that stops you out, trading 2 contracts, that could be $350 per account. You could buy yourself 3 bloody decent laptops for that price. So, yeah, it's important, actually. Yeah, yes. I'm going to have a nice... I might treat my wife, take her out for a meal and tell her I need a new laptop. You know what boys and toys are like, don't you? Yeah, I could sell it to her. I have to think about... Is it just me, or when you want to tell your wife you need something, do you have to sort of conjure up a plan and a reason why? And try and sweet talk them and ass kiss them? Or is it just me? Okay, so touching nice there. Bum bum. Yeah, that does seem right, doesn't it? It's slim, but yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Don't tell her it's a porn. I won't. I definitely won't. We're all salespeople. That's a good point, actually, mate. We are all salespeople. It never stops, does it? Never more than when you're at home. I'm pretty sure. You know, sometimes I see the odd thing go ping on the joint bank account for boots for 30, 40, 50 quid. And she never comes home with a bag of stuff. So I'm guessing there might be 1 or 2 things in her handbag. But yeah, women do it as well, don't they? I think they just do it a little bit more quieter about it. But yeah. I tell you what I need to do as well. is I don't know how to do it. I'm techie to a degree. I've built my own computer. If I have problems, I can pretty much figure them out. But I've never been a backer-upper. I've never been a person that backs stuff up. I've never deemed I've got data enough. Now, don't get me wrong, photos and stuff, any photos I've got, I save to a hard drive. We've got 2 older disk drives, and any photos we got stored on them, I got 2, then I double them up. But I need to learn how to save the hard drive on my PC now. Reason being, obviously I've got Rhythmic here, but I've got NinjaTrader here, and I don't want to have to re-download NinjaTrader because I've got that many add-ons. I've got this news. There's all sorts of different indicators which I've begged, borrowed, and steal that I've got on here that I don't really want to lose. Half the time is you forget where you ended up getting them in the first place. So I could do with learning how to completely back this up. So at least then I'm assuming I can literally just plug it into another computer and download it, and hopefully everything will be there. But at some point you've got to start thinking about protecting everything, haven't you? If this is a long-term business, then you've got to start making the right decisions and to protect yourself. I'll YouTube it later and try and figure it out. Can't be difficult, can it? I like the idea of the laptop then. I mean, you could literally have it on right next to you in your line of vision, so you literally just flick over to it and close everything down. It almost never works. Yeah, so far, I built this computer about 2.5 years ago, so it still comes over as a quick computer. Still comes over as a nuclear sub, which is the one down from the top, so it's still ample at the moment. But I kind of like the idea of having a laptop because your mobile then, you can just plug your screens into your laptops. And then maybe, if your computer gets a bit out of date, use it as a backup. The trouble is, the thing I like about, because I built the computer, if something goes down or I need to upgrade it, I can. I started off with a pretty mediocre graphics card when I started, and it didn't like multiple screens with NinjaTrader. It would just slow right down and it would just be awful. But then when I replaced it to a better graphics card, everything worked perfectly. So I like the idea of being a PC being really easy to just sort of plug and play. Whereas laptops, I think you can pretty much upgrade the RAM and that's about it. Maybe the hard drive, but not the rest. But yeah, what I could do with doing is just backing up the whole computer. I'm assuming if you just back up the whole hard drive. I spent every Friday backing up NinjaTrader settings on 3 occasions I've needed to import those backup settings. It has never worked. A total waste of time. There's got to be some sort of way that you can save NinjaTrader. Even if you save NinjaTrader and maybe all the files onto a thumbnail or something like that, onto a little what's-it stick. I'm going to start digging it. In fact, I know a guy who's a computer guy. A friend of a friend of a friend. I might ask him. But there must be a way that you can just plug a little memory stick in and just back up everything. The trouble is, we have all our settings and I got stuff up here that I probably couldn't get again or whatever. Obviously, you got to, things like, we've got to mess around downloading things like, so what have I got? I got Pat's Toolbar. If I want to get that again, I'll have to join Max. I've got the news. Where's the news? It's in this, I think, isn't it? Where is it? Yeah, it's part of one of these Macs, so I've got to join that again. Order line decorator, I've got to try and get that again. Bar size counter, I can't remember where I got that from. Chart and answer, can't remember where I got that from. Trouble is, when you have all these little extras and it's all, set into your system, especially if you trade for a living, you want to just be able to jump back into it. So there must be a way. I'm going to have to start doing a bit of fishing, I think. Try and find out what goes on. So far, fingers crossed, I've never had a problem with this computer, touch wood. Nothing's gone down. I don't even think it's ever crashed, which is quite surprising considering I built it. I was actually amazed it worked. All those indicators and Replicanto that are locked just seems to bugger up the reinstall, does it really? Perhaps I should just make a note of where I got them. Keep details aware. I mean, things like, you can live without all the little gizmos and gadgets, but the news, this isn't vital, although it's useful. The news, you could always get, I could always use the Forex Factory or something like that, but that's something I'm going to have to look into. Got to say, PCs are much better than they used to be. I changed from a PC to a Mac about 10 years ago. I was sick of PCs crashing. And then when I moved on to a Mac, I thought they were brilliant. Just nothing goes wrong with them. But then the trouble is, certain bits of software, when I started, I had Windows downloaded onto it, so I could flick over for Windows. Trouble is, if you're going to use it for Windows, you're paying through the nose for the price of a Mac compared to a PC. So I was wondering whether there was rumours NinjaTrader was going to go more web-based, but I don't know whether that'll ever come to fruition or not. Yeah, so the NQ chart, that's why I stayed out of, so it was here, wasn't it? I stayed out of any possible shorts there. I had a feeling, originally we had that, then we had the overshoot, so I thought we were going to push up. We didn't, we came down. And then we had another overshoot from the channel here. I thought we were going to push up and go in the other direction. We didn't, we came down. So third time lucky. We've obviously shot up in the next direction, so whether we're going to find some resistance at the bottom of this. This is NQ, by the way. It's hard to say. Trouble is, you just can't take anything up here. It's that far from the EMA. It's clear respect in that line. No argument there. So, I think we can do it at the moment, really. I know I've got technically another 5 days on this evaluation, but I was hoping to get it past the next couple of days because this offer finishes tomorrow night, and I have a feeling they may go back to the 1 day. And if they do, if they announce it at the end of the day, anything that's past that day or previous will qualify for a new PA, so at least I can just get going a bit earlier. So I just have a feeling the last couple of times we've gone from 71%, we've gone to 80%, and the minimum 1 day. So I kind of was hoping to try and get this passed, but I'm not going to force it for the hell of it. MKV. Let me have a look. I'm not 100% sure, mate. I set it up a while ago. It was a bit fiddly to set up. Let me have a quick look. So if I go, I don't know if I can go into my settings here. Might be able to. Settings. So general video. Okay, I'm going to bring this over so you can have a look. That's what I've got my settings in. And I followed a guy on YouTube and it works fine with me. So I'll put that there for a sec. So you can come back to this and have a look later anyway. Why don't I trade more accounts? I still have this issue. My trading is okay. I can build an account and I made some money last year. The issue I have still is with the psychological side. It's MKV, yeah. I'll leave that there for a couple of seconds. So if anybody decided, I'd definitely do it. So you've got the options to record or stream, but I would definitely do it because you can always look back. And if something, you know, get this on your screen. So at least you can say to Apex, well, look, you can clearly see I can't shut it down. So at least you've got options then. It's all right for me because obviously mine's streamed, so mine's out on the internet anyway. But for you guys, it's a great way of looking back on your trades. And if something does go tits up, at least you can say, you can look at it yourself, clearly see, you can see all these different areas where your positions are in tabs, and you can clearly see if something is amiss. And at least then you've got a bit of evidence. You've got a bit of evidence. If I shut that down, it should be fine. Yeah. You've got a bit of evidence. So this is going to confuse you in this picture, but if I drag it in, forget all this. These are the options you've got down here. So you can't see all this. It's in the way a bit. Yeah. So I've got a record or a stream function. So it's really easy. It's really easy to use. You can also use trading view to replay features. Yeah, you can. Yeah, the bit I like about the point I make about recording it yourself is if you've got your positions for your rhythmic tab here and you've got your orders and positions for NinjaTrader, if everything's shut down and your money is still going up or down or your account, at least you can say, well, look, you can clearly see, so you can get a visual of exactly what's up, what's not. Like the other day, there was nothing in the accounts or positions, so it wasn't registered on NinjaTrader. You couldn't see nothing. But it was still showing a red cross, which I couldn't shut down. And obviously you can visually see me talking and trying to shut it down. And my account balance was going up and down. So at least then you've got a video evidence of that you can say to Apex, well, look, you say I've got to use Rhythmic as part of your package. You can't say if it goes wrong, there's nothing to do with us. Then you need to obviously get something that works. But it's useful to look back on anyway, because you can look back, where you had, what you were looking at and so on and so forth. And you've got video evidence. So it plays a multitude of uses. And then obviously if you're worried about it sucking up all your memory, your hard drive, then just, if everything's fine for the day, just delete them. Yes, THR open 28 point double entry short. You're going short, are you? Return to highs. RTH, what's that? RTH. Not sure what you mean there, my friend. RTH. Return to highs? I don't know. Something open. Not sure there. 28 point double entry short. Regular trainers. Oh, yeah, I got you. Yeah. Right, yeah, okay. Could have been return to home. Return to highs, return to home. RTH, isn't that something to do with a car accident? Oh, it's an RTC, isn't it? Okay, let's give up on that. So 2 legs up here. Yeah, it's useful and it's free as well. So I'm amazed it's free, but it is useful to have. It can save you a bit of stress, I think. I think when you start to sort of get somewhere and you start to be able to build counts, I think you've got to look at all these different options to keep yourself safe and protected. And I still don't really understand how Apex can say that, oh, it's not our fault if Rhythmic goes down. But, I've said this before. If you make washing machines, okay, if you make washing machines, you make some of your own parts, but you might buy parts from other manufacturers to put together. But once you sell someone that washing machine, if something goes wrong, you don't say, sorry, go to so-and-so, they made that part. You don't do it. If I buy something as a package, then if it goes wrong, I have the right to say, it's gone wrong, you need to fix it for me, or it's cost money, or I've lost stuff, you need to fix it. You can't say, oh, well, that bit of software, we don't make that. That's not my problem. So, if they need something, Apex need to do something, I think. Now, I believe if it's a massive outage, I think they tend to, but if it happens to 10 people, I've known people who've lost accounts, and I don't see how you can become a successful trader trying to build accounts long terms with the fact looming over your head that there is a chance Rhythmic's going to go down. I was chatting with someone in the other day, and they trade, isn't it CQD or CQB? And they trade their own account in Ninja Trader, and it's never gone down, never ever. But obviously Rhythmic does, so I don't see how you can say it's not our fault. Might not be your fault, but you've got to take responsibility if you sell it as a package. And if I buy a package from Apex, whether it's the 50,000 or whatever, then you don't buy a TV and them saying, oh, it should work. If it doesn't work, we don't make that bit, so you'll just have to, lump it. It doesn't sort of work for me. I don't even understand exactly what Rhythmic is. I believe it's a place where you can make trades, and isn't it something to do with the data as well? And a way that Apex can attach their servers to it to monitor what's going on. I don't fully understand how it all works, in all fairness. It was me. Oh, it was you. Was it CQG? Yeah. Never gone wrong in 5. Yeah. That is something you invest your money in and trade. But I think it's gone down more than once in 5 weeks, hasn't it? So, the thing is, the sensible thing is to build your account, but I don't know how I'd feel having $3,000 to $5,000 in 20 accounts. You've got $5,000 in 20 accounts. You've built up $100,000. If you're trading 20 accounts and something goes seriously wrong and the market decides to tank while you're stuck in a trade and you can't get out of it, potentially you could lose everything. No, I think I'm going to do what the Alpine trader does. Is he waits for his account to get over $2,600, then he withdraws $2,000, and then he reduces his contract size and tries to keep the account. Put it this way, on that account, it's cost him $35 evaluation, $140 for the one-off fee. It's cost him $175, so he's more than 20x'd his money, isn't he? No, it's more than that, isn't it? 170. Yeah, he's more than 10x'd his money. 10 or 12 times his money. So effectively, that PA account is paid for itself. And he's got his money without it sat there long term. And then he'll theoretically have about $500 left. So he'll reduce his account, contract size, and slowly let it build. And then he can let it build then because it's free money. And then he'll get more accounts and do the same. So every time it's 2,600 or more, he withdraws and then just tries to let the account build. But then when you've had your money, when you've had 10 times your money back, you can afford to just let it go and without, maybe get it up to 3,000-5,000 with the intent on taking a regular monthly out of it. Also, Bullenix as Rhythmic has never gone down in 2 years. You've got to ask the question, mate, haven't you? Who was it? Somebody told me which was the one that use. Who's another provider? See, I don't really know what Rhythmic is. I believe you can set trades on it, so it's a platform in itself. And I think it's a platform with the data. That's as much as I really know about it, and I'm pretty sure it's that. I don't fully understand it. And isn't it a way of Apex connecting to our Ninja Trader so they can monitor, obviously, you know, our trades? Failing that, I don't know a great deal. I thought we'd build up to 5,000 drawdown before taking out any money. And that would be a sensible thing to do. And probably is. The bit that scares me about that is if you've got 10 accounts, they're potentially holding $50,000 of your accounts. Now, I've been trading with Rhythmic for about a year and a half with Apex. And I've not had account. Oh, I had one. I've had one account blown, one an evaluation blown, and they reset it. Failing that, I've been lucky. I had that problem the other week, as you know, when I was trying to shut them down. Fortunately, it went in my favour about $75, but it could have been very different. Now, when they tend to have a blanket outage, they tend to sort, you know, Apex, they'll say, yeah, we look after customers. They're pretty good, they do. But if it happens to a bunch of people, I mean, that happened to me that day, and there was a few other people saying they were having problems. Whether they sorted their accounts out or not, I don't know, but I can't imagine how I would feel if I had 10 accounts with $5,000 each. I think I'll be swinging from a bridge somewhere. I don't think I can handle losing $50,000. And what would be attractive about, you know, signing up to a prop firm if the bit of software they used that was you know, had a tendency to have hiccups, shall we say? What would be the point in carrying on? So I think you've just got to do what you can. And I think another backup is to record it as well. That way you've got the option to look back if you need to, and you can obviously reassess. And, you know, in the height of things, you don't necessarily notice what's going on in every box. But at least if you've got the option to replay it, you've got video evidence, and you can, you know, look for your own sane of mind. But I like the way Alpine Trade does it. He gets to 2,600 or over, well, 26, 28. He withdraws 2,000, so that account is then paid for itself over 10, say 11 times comfortably. It's paid for itself 11 times over. So then he invests a bit more and buys a few more accounts, and then he reduces that contract size on that particular PA, and then lets it ride, and hopefully, like he says, most of the time he'll save it and it'll build up, and then he can maybe get it and take a small regular amount out. And then with his profits, he buys maybe 3 or 4 or 5 more accounts and does the same. That way you never leave a huge amount in there. You know, I kind of like that idea. But, you know, there are ways to keep yourself safe by, you know, having things like the positions, the rhythmic positions, and also the Apex as well. But, you know, I don't think if they said to me, it's not our fault, there's nothing we can do, I wouldn't just leave it at that. I'd have a lot more to say to it. I'd make an official complaint, and I wouldn't give up on it. I don't know. I'm assuming Apex are trying to sort of make better. The thing is, if you do have a piece of software that's continuously going down, you know, bad news spreads, doesn't it? I think it would damage them in the long term if they didn't at least look into it. I'm pretty sure they were, because they don't want the headache. They don't want, you know, thousands of bloody emails if something's gone wrong. You know, it's manpower for them. But at the end of the day, just like them, we've got to look after our futures as well. We've got to make sure, you know, we've got things in place if stuff goes wrong. Okay, so this looks like a leg and a leg, I think, which is played out. It's just a bit of a funny trading day today for me. It's a bit of an odd day, isn't it? So it does look like a leg and a leg. Maybe a break and a new low, leg and a leg. Is this an overshoot? Maybe. You are fine. Yeah, you take it easy, bud. Off to the gym. Good for you, mate. Cold plunge. Yikes. You're crazy, mate. Absolute crazy. You wouldn't. The only cold liquid I go near is lager. You wouldn't get me any cold. I believe it is really good for you, though, actually. I was watching something the other day and they mentioned about it. It's supposed to be really good for you. I don't know, so maybe I should look into it. Knowing me, I'd be one of the few that ends up having a heart attack. I remember seeing Bear Grylls doing it. They were saying it could potentially stop your heart when he's done it in Norway. I don't know how true it is, but I think you'd be probably pretty unhealthy. I mean, if you're massively overweight and unhealthy, it's probably not the wisest thing to do. Wow. What's going on now? There's a little bit of flickering going around here. I don't think there's any news that I'm aware of. Okay, tempting. I like where it is, but risky, I think. I'm looking at the NQ at the moment. We're right close to the top. See, I don't like those dojis, so I won't be shocked if we get another leg down here. So I'm just sitting tight at the moment. I don't know what's caused that bit of a spike there. It might just be nothing. It might have just hit some stops. And on the 4,000 tick chart, it's way too far for the EMA to think about going along there. I would have said, personally, if this is a channel, we were right at the top of it there. It's over halfway, so for me, I think that's more likely going to come down for another leg. So I'm just sitting tight. 2 legs down, absolutely, I'll think about going along there. Have we found some support up here? Not yet. There is a little bit along there, but nothing major. 2 legs back. Come on. Well, it could continue on that. Who knows? Just wondering if there is a bit of an overshoot there. It's just pushing up, making a new high, and then maybe coming back down. Okay, those two legs, measured legs on the NQ have played out nice. We had this channel down, a bit of an overshoot, one leg up, two legs up. We're back into this range now. We've seemed to bounce off the top of it there. Okay, I think I might knock it on the head there. What time is it? It's just coming up to 5:30 in the UK. That is usually my cut-off thing at the moment. 3 hours, I think that's enough for me. So there you go. Not a bad day. Up a few $100, $350 minus fees on this one eval here, and one quick micro. Just did a one tick micro. Don't even bother whether I buy or lose. Doesn't make a difference. You're down about $2 per trade. So that one will go live Friday, that one a couple of days. Now I'm hoping where this 71% and $35 reset finishes tomorrow, I think it's midnight Eastern time tomorrow, I'm hoping we get another offer. Usually, lately it's been 80% on the 1 day, in which case, come tomorrow, if both of these are passed or hit the $3,000, and they do incorporate that tomorrow, then they should hopefully go through to PA the following day. But that's we'll see anyway. So I appreciate all your comments. Not a huge amount of setups around. That one I took this morning, we had 1, 2, 3 triple test off that bottom, pushed up nice. That one, I had that. I took that one based on we had a smaller channel break, new low, and it looked like it was bullish on the NQ. That's the reason I took that one. That one worked. So 2 wins and a loss. Brother, any clue about any bank account to get Apex? Any clue of any bank account to get Apex payout for UK traders? Okay. You use something called Plane now, and Plane is a company that it's like a what's the word I'm looking for? It's a company that pay. Okay, if you're a company, rather than you do all the payment yourself, you just hire it out. So they use a company called Plane. They pay Plane, and Plane pay you. So what you do is you sign up to a Plane account, and all I do is I have my Plane account. When you sign into your Plane account, just put your bank details in, and as soon as it goes into your Plane account, they pay it straight into your bank. You know, they also pay at a current market rate as well, so there's no fees or anything like that. So it's a really good option. So it's a Plane account you sign up to. So I think you contact Apex, and they get Plane. They contact Plane, and Plane sends you an invite via an email. You accept the invite, go in and put your details in, and your bank details, and then come payday, you can set it so that you get it paid straight into your bank. You don't have to go in there and send it from one to the other. You can click the settings to send it straight to your bank. So as soon as Apex puts it into Plane, Plane sends it to you, which takes 24 hours. So that's your option. So any of you guys ever got any questions, or, you know, feel free to message me morning, noon and night. It don't bother me in the slightest. I can talk trading all day. So you got any issues, or, you know, you want to chat about anything, or whatever you want, chat away, you know. I got no issues at all with that. So I'm quite happy to talk shop. Only trouble is you may not get away from me. So just keep that in mind. So if you're carrying on trading anyway, what time is it? Yeah, I keep forgetting when I finish. When I finish, it's just gone 5:30 in the UK. It's 12:30 on the East Coast at the moment. So it's only really middle of the day, isn't it? But it just, obviously with the time here and me doing me 3 hours, it seems like the end of the day. But I tend to forget it's not really. So if you carry on trading, best of luck. I hope you get a setup or two. Failing that, I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great evening and stay safe. Bye for now.